Yes.
Can we just move on there, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair?
So we've had,
I nominated it.
yes, we have a mover and seconded by Jan. So all of those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? I think the ayes have it, but we better count the numbers. So hands, please. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. I think it's unanimous.
No, thank you, Mark.
So members out there, it's unanimous. Oh, and by the way, we should also extend our thanks to the organisation that we have joined. We're now members of the New South Wales Co-ops Federation, who are part of the National Co-ops Federation themselves, and they represent all the co-ops in New South Wales. And we're now a member of 16 ski lodges. Apart from being members of Slopes, there are 16 ski lodges apart from us who are members of the New South Wales Co-ops Federation, and their advisory service helped us to redraft the rules and to get them past co-ops. So we should send a vote of thanks to Sam Byrne, and if we do, I'll pass it on. And he was emailing me on Friday to make sure that we were all happy and that we thought we might be able to get his rules passed. So he'll be very pleased. So that's the special meeting, and then we have all the usual things that we need to deal with. So the first of the other matters that we need to deal with is to confirm the minutes of the annual general meeting from the 23rd of June last year. Do we have somebody who's prepared to move the minutes?
I'll move those.
Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Does anybody have any questions about the minutes from last year? All those in favour of accepting the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
I think the ayes have it. There isn't anybody against, is there? I better say no. And then we need to receive and adopt the report of the directors and the statement of accounts. Perhaps it would be a good idea for our learned treasurer and I might say remarkable survivor of a high-speed motorcycle accident in which he slaughtered the emblem of the country. Yeah, and we're having roadkill for lunch. We now call him the kangaroo killer.
Fortunately, it was a small kangaroo and not one of the Brumbies in
in case you hadn't heard, our treasurer is a very keen motorcyclist, and he was riding through the boondocks of the Hunter Valley at a bad time of day when a roo took him out. Was it 100 metres down the road, you said?
Save the story for lunch.
100 metres down the road. There you go.
I second that.
Mr. Treasurer, now that you've returned from hospital, can you tell us what our financial circumstances are?
Thank you, yes. So the last year finished 31 March. We recorded a profit of $6,500 against a $10,000 loss last year. That profit was helped enormously by 6 new members joining the lodge, $26,000. Sort of reiterating what Mark was just saying about we're having to adjust our revenue model to take account of ongoing costs. If we didn't have those 6 new members join, there would have been $20,000 loss.
And I just note that that's the same for the last 20 years.
And that's been the same, certainly for the last few years since I've been doing the job. So Pete already iterated, we have 3 levers for revenue, which are the bookings, the annual levies and new memberships. New memberships should be viewed as a bonus. We can't rely on new memberships to run the lodge on an ongoing basis because of the total variability of that particular line of income. Our expenses, and total revenue last year is about 120k. Our expenses are about 112k. Insurance Premiums, $32,000, so it takes up about a quarter of our budget. Utilities, $30,000, which is gas, electricity, sewerage, water. That increases at CPI plus 2.5% per year, so that only continues and will continue to increase. At the moment, 6-7%. And then repairs and maintenance, we spent 27k this year, as Mark said. That was predominantly on the electrical board and the fire systems. And that 27k was basically funded by the new membership fees of 26k. Again, that's a very risky model to have. Having said that, we always focus on what our cash position is so that we can pay our bills as and when they fall due, so that we remain liquid. Otherwise, if we continue to operate, a few of us could be needing the services of some of Mark's colleagues in front of court of law. We'd be breaking the law. So that's pretty much it in terms of the P&L and the operating.
There is one thing that the members should be aware of, and it was discussed at last year's general meeting, but it's important that we keep it in mind. For the vast majority of our history, up until about 18 months ago, Kalymaro Lodge Cooperative Limited operated as a not-for-profit sporting organisation that saw itself as being tax exempt. So we didn't put in a tax return, we weren't subject to taxation. The government in its wisdom, or I should say the tax office in its wisdom, about 2 years ago issued a new set of guidelines in relation to what constitutes a not-for-profit sporting organisation, and we are no longer capable, the board does not consider us capable of being able to meet the threshold requirements of being a not-for-profit sporting organisation, because a not-for-profit sporting organisation has to do things which we are incapable of doing. It has to run sporting competitions, it has to provide training facilities, it has to be actively involved in the actual conduct of alpine skiing and snowboarding and so forth to enable us to do those things. So some organisations, some other lodges are still attempting to meet those requirements, but the requirements have become so technical that our position in the past has been that we promoted alpine skiing activities by encouraging people to use the lodge. And what the tax office says that is the provision of accommodation. It's not the conduct of a sporting organisation, and we run the risk of being audited at any time. So if we continued to operate on the basis that we were saying that we were tax exempt, the board faces the possibility of being prosecuted by the tax office. So we're not prepared to do that. We're not prepared to run the risk of the board or the lodge being placed in a situation of being accused of evading tax. So we now put in a tax return each year, and the members' contributions to the lodge, so all the money raised from the membership, our annual subscriptions, members' usage of the lodge fees and our new membership fees are all tax exempt because we're a mutual. So mutual income within the lodge gets drawn out of our taxable income, and what we pay tax on is the usage of the lodge by non-members who pay accommodation fees to stay at the lodge, because that's treated as a commercial business, and if we make any profit out of that, we have to pay tax on it.